Hello and welcome back to my channel for today's video. This video is going to be on a topic that I've been asked about a lot, either by clients or people in my life: how to talk about mental health. As I've said before, each and every one of us has mental health, just as we all have physical health. Sometimes we're healthy and are able to do well on our own, but other times we might struggle. We all go through the ups and downs, highs and lows of life, and they can all take a toll on our mental health. And that's okay. That's completely normal. If you come down with a cold, you're probably not going to feel ashamed and try to hide it or deny it to your friends and family. You're more likely to take the time you need to recover and let people know why you're canceling plans. Unfortunately, many of us don't feel the same way when it comes to our mental health. It's a hard thing to admit, not just to others, but also to ourselves. It can feel uncomfortable or awkward to try and discuss our concerns when it comes to someone else's mental health too, such as a partner, family member, or a friend. But there are a few things that you can do to make that conversation just a little bit easier. First and foremost, your friend or loved one might not want to talk to you about their mental health. This might sound a little harsh, but it's important to remember this and not take it personally. Ultimately, it isn't about you. If you're uncomfortable starting the conversation, imagine how they must be feeling having this topic brought up. If you're right and they are struggling, that can be deeply personal, and many are scared or embarrassed to know that others have noticed their own struggle. It's important to make sure that the environment is appropriate to have the conversation at all. A few questions to help determine this are: is there enough time to talk openly and fully about everything that might come up? Is there privacy? Are there any distractions to you or to the other person? Are you in a place where you both feel comfortable to discuss something uncomfortable? Is it safe? Having an open, judgment-free space is vital to setting the tone for the discussion. If the space and time is appropriate and the person does open up to you, there's a few things that you can do to make them feel more comfortable. Sometimes the biggest help that you can be is simply when you listen. Many people who struggle with their mental health often feel alone or are afraid that no one will understand what they're going through. Listening to them without interruption or judgment shows them that they aren't alone and that they have compassionate support when they need it. You might not be able to relate to what they're saying or how they're feeling, but it's really important that you don't try to diagnose them or jump in with solutions. It sounds easy, but it can be really hard sometimes. If you've struggled with depression and your friend is currently going through a similar experience, your instinct may be to recommend a strategy that worked really well for you, but this can actually make the person feel dismissed. Instead, try to focus on relaying acceptance and letting them know you understand what they're saying without changing the topic to your own experiences. And don't minimize their experience either with statements that might downplay their pain. We've all heard these, right? You're just having a bad week, or it'll all work out. Platitudes like these may sound comforting to the person saying them, but often they're just a guarantee that the person on the receiving end won't open up to you the same way again. Let them lead the conversation. Even if the person appreciates your asking and feels comfortable about how they're doing, they may not want to have a long, detailed conversation. Or maybe they've never talked about their mental health to anyone, and that level of trust and courage takes time to build. That's okay. Let them know, without any pressure, that you're here to talk about as little or as much as they're comfortable with. Equally, be prepared to have conversations in the future. By reaching out and offering support, you're letting them know that they aren't alone, and that they may trust you enough to turn to you again the next time they're going through a rough time, or as they recover. And there's a few ways without putting any pressure on them that you can keep the conversation going, if that's appropriate. The first is to ask twice. Most of the time when a person asks you how you're doing, what do you say? I'm fine, how are you? Or, good, how are you? That's basically another way of saying hi in our society today. When we're not fine, we often say that we are because we don't think that the person is ready for the real answer. The real answer may be heavy and take time. By asking the question again in a different way, you're letting them know that you have the energy and time to hear the real answer, that you really do want to know how they are. You can also ask open-ended questions to learn more and get a better understanding of what they're going through. Now, I know I said earlier that you don't want to jump in and try to fix their problems. And while this is true, sometimes the person may ask if you have any advice or resources for them. If they do, then feel free to either mindfully share coping strategies that have helped you if you've had a similar experience, or perhaps where they could find a mental health counselor or other professional. This might require some extra time or research ahead of time, and you might not get a chance to put your new information to good use, but that's okay. It still might be a good idea to have on hand, just in case. But again, it's up to them to decide if they want more help or support from you. If you're worried about someone, I hope this video helped you feel a little more prepared and confident to reach out to them. If you do have a conversation, I hope that the strategies help you have an open, empathetic connection that promotes healing for you both. If you are struggling with your own mental health, many of these techniques or approaches can be used to reach out as well, and I hope that you find the support that you need when you're ready. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like so I know what content to make more of. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care, y'all. Instead, try to focus on relating their